Yeah. Legendary anime protagonists. In a lot of cases, many characters don't know that the protagonist is a legend, probably due to them hiding their secret, or they could be retired legends that return to their duties soon to save the world. A lot of them pretend to be rookies, so others don't really find out just how powerful they really are, which is why today's video we will be covering 10 anime rookies that turn out to be overpowered legends. If you're new around here, then please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel with the notifications bell icon turned on to stay up to date with the latest anime news and recommendations right at your doorstep. Now, without keeping y'all waiting, let us begin with the video. So how about starting this list off with a very popular shonen anime series back in the good old days called Noragami, created by Studio Bones in 2014, and it manages to pull off a lot of its elements perfectly well without even batting an eye, all the way from its core elements to its characters to its story of a stray god named Yato who used to be the god of calamity but soon retires to live a more peaceful life doing silly jobs for some mere small change. It's like an addiction fest with non-stop laughter and action to go through, with a total of 2 seasons for you to watch. Trust me, it is completely endless for what you're about to experience. Noragami is one of the best shonen series that sadly no one really talks about anymore, but those who know that this will always be one of the greater shonen series anyone could ever watch. Next up on the list is Chronicles, which is a fantasy series with a cool-looking adventure of a protagonist with a hidden ability that deems him of a living legend. Now for this one, the story is actually quite simple, philosophically deep, but lacking at the same time. That's probably, the only weak point of the show for me. I really do wish they do more of the story department, but, given the source material, there just really wasn't much, to be honest. But the story's not about good versus bad, as many people mistaken it to be. It's about hope versus despair, which is quite the similar thing, but not exactly the same, and that's the key point that this show has taken my heart for. Mobile game adaptations, or in general game adaptations, normally aren't great, but I found Chronicles to actually be quite a decent watch, and maybe you all could take an interest in checking it out. Strike the Blood was created by both Silverlink and Studio Connect, but this was given over for just Connect to handle all the way until the 5th season. Yes, this anime has 5 seasons total, which may sound great, but a lot of people actually lost interest along the way due to its slow production. But aside from that, one of the things to appreciate from Strike the Blood is that what you see is what you get. It's straightforward anime, you get some, good-ass sequences out of it. I also think that the very first few episodes are quite representative of the series as a whole, so your interest should be fairly easy to gauge early on. The anime does have a great quality going on with its overall visual style and its story of a powerful vampire legend named Akatsuki Kojo, which, by the way, he's a complete badass to watch. The world's finest assassin. He's a legend in real life, gets the job done, swift and silent, but of course, his days were over after the organization who hired him betrayed him by killing him on a plane. But he did get reincarnated to another world, this time more powerful than ever, and that is because he has to kill the hero of the other world. Created by Silverlink in the year 2022, this anime has attracted a large number of people due to it being an actual good isekai series. Now, fun fact, the author of Redo of Healer is the person who wrote this anime. Talk about a huge surprise that he can do things like this besides a crazy revenge story like Redo of Healer. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. It's something that, just feels a lot of like your traditional decent isekai reincarnation story. The premise that is, it's so impressive to boot. Since since I found it really enjoyable, you guys should probably give this one a shot too.
Luke, sayonara.
何もかもてめえのせいだ。
Plunderer has a really interesting premise. Basically, characters have a counter on their body. If it reaches 0, well, they'll be taken into the dark, deep abyss as punishment. Years ago, there was a great war and legendary heroes of the war fought there, and they say no one really survived, but is that really ultimately true? So we have the protagonist named Lisht, and while he may appear silly with the costumes that he wears, he ultimately blends into society posing as a normal being where in fact, he is actually the hero from the war years ago. This anime was created by Geek Toys, a studio that is currently working on Data Alive, in which they produce great visuals, but just Plunderer doesn't really have that available. Even then, however, it still had a great addicting storyline of the protagonist Lisht and also diving deep into his past life, which you may not want to miss out on. Witchcraft Works is an anime series about mysterious witches, those who, protect civilizations, and the others who seek greater power. It's quite the average anime with cliche characters and not much of a plot, even though, I say that, it was still an enjoyable watch, really. With outstanding animation and great music to get you excited, JC Staff, the studio behind Witchcraft Works, and even though, at first, I thought that this anime would be about, mages killing others, and that would turn into a dark series, which is what I really wanted and what I really felt at the start, still, it didn't fail to be enjoyable. Now, the protagonist may seem average to begin with, but later on, the biggest secret will be revealed that he is key to power. Now we're moving on to an anime series that was created by Studio Azred in 2013 about a retired hero who works in an electronics store. Trust me, it may sound lame, but soon his retirement ends and well, he returns to his old job to stop evil, basically becoming a hero. Ever since the daughter of the Demon King was placed in his store, his life was never really the same because, she became his co-worker and ends up having to teach her the basics, but things won't always be a happy adventure. The fan service in Yuushibu is probably the most first noticeable polarizing aspect of it. It's a lot to take in. It could be the thing that makes you not want to watch this show. It's a romantic comedy with ecchi elements to it. You should watch it with that exact mindset. Otherwise, you'll just come out disappointed. But for what it's worth, Yuushibu is a great show that I liked a lot, and I'm sure you will too if you decide to watch it. So what do you do when insects knock at your door? Well, normally you'd call the pest control, but here's the problem actually. These aren't really your ordinary insects. In fact, these are the type that will tear you apart and eat you alive. It takes much more than the pest control, but luckily, you can call upon a more reliant force known as the City Patrol, an elite unit of insect exterminators who are specialists in dealing with those pesky creatures. Mushibugyo might have slipped under people's radar, trust me when I tell you this, and this is a historical series mixed in with martial arts, which involves samurai. There is a lot of situations involved, from slicing and dicing action and even superpowers, as it really balances between seriousness and comedy extremely well. Not many have watched this anime from 2013, but it is super worth it. Vanitas no Carte, or its English titles, The Case Study of Vanitas, takes place in France that is connected to a steampunk fantasy. Studio Bones created the show, and on a quick side note, if you're looking for long shonen fights, an idealistic protagonist, one objective and goal for which everyone works for, and if you dislike slow burners dialogue, then drop down, this series is just not for you. However, watching the show equates to an elegant setting of fantasy drama and a whole lot of pretty boys. Vanitas no Carte is to be taken as a serious show. Beyond the humor lies an anime of dark secrets. We find out more and more about the origins of vampires, the purpose of the Book of Vanitas, and even secrets we may not want to know about.
俺は医者だ。お前たちヴァンピールを救うためにここにいる。
Now finally, to end this list off, I'm recommending to all of you is Bloodlad, the story of a lazy otaku vampire lord who rules over the Eastern District but has grown lazy to do anything else but stay in his own house.
残念ながらリズ、それも誤解だ。
どうして兄様はいつもそうやって。
That, however, changes after a girl that was mysteriously transported from Japan into the demon world and ends up in Stas Charlie's domain, where he promised to help her return, meaning we can finally witness the true power of the vampire lord that we have been waiting for. This was created by Brainsbase in 2013. Now, Bloodlad is arguably one of their finest work, and it's a fun journey and one hell of a ride for sure for both our main characters. Despite the series having a relevant plot, it usually maintains more of a lighthearted and humorous atmosphere, and there are many moments in the series where the fights and moments are portrayed as parody rather than anything too serious, and that is why you should enjoy this anime to its fullest.
さあ、交換しよう。僕の腕と君の腕。
Looks like you just made it to the end of the video and witnessed 10 anime rookies that turned out to be overpowered legends. If I have managed to leave any anime out in particular that you thought would be a great addition on the list, then please let me know in the comment section down below, as I'd always love to hear your very own opinion, or just comment down below what you thought about the video in general, as I'd always appreciate the feedback. So please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.